It's about to get a little ho 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 up in here, if you know what I mean. Hi, my name's Rachel, and today we're talking about Cruel Winter with You by Hazelwood. Yes, that title is a Taylor Swift song reference, and am I a little bit tired of us trying to cash in on Swiftie money by making book titles just Taylor Swift song references? I am indeed. I wish we would do literally anything else. This book is about two former childhood friends, and specifically it has the best friend sibling trope where person falls in love with their best friend's sibling. Our main character, Jamie, goes home for Christmas and during a wintry storm is sent by her dad to get a roasting pan from her best friend's family, except they are all on vacation except the brother who she had a connection with, to put it nicely, previously, and it did not work out between them. So she goes to show up at this man's doorstep to get a roasting pan for Christmas. Speaking of showing up on a doorstep and dinner, you know who's been doing that for me is Factor, which is today's sponsor. I think we all know this. I despise cooking. I love eating, and now I eat stress-free with Factor's delicious ready-to-eat meals. They have eliminated the hassle of cooking and prepping and shopping and cleanup. You just heat and eat and savor the good stuff. Carlos calls this restaurant quality in the microwave. He specifically loves their pork chop meal, but my new favorites are their chickpea curry, vegan mushroom marsala, and the pesto tortellini. I could eat that every single day and never get sick of it. Their juices are fueling me as I work from home. Their dinners are perfect for after my workouts in the evening. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. And you can choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular ones like vegan and veggie, protein plus, keto. Personally, I'm a huge fan of their vegan and veggie options. You can also discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, beverages to help you feel good and stay fueled all day long. So what are you waiting for? Get something perfect delivered to your doorstep and have Factor fill your fridge. Holidays are here. Nobody wants to do any more shopping anyways. Factor has your back. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 50RWR to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. That's code 50RWR at factor75.com for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. And thank you so much to Factor for sponsoring today's video and for covering today's dinner, to be honest. Okay, let me give you the synopsis. It says, all new what? How did I already mess up? All newly minted pediatrician Jamie Malik wants is to borrow a roasting pan for Christmas dinner. Unfortunately, that requires her to interact with Mark with a C, her best friend's troublemaking brother who's now a tech billionaire. First, we did a Taylor Swift reference, and now we're making billionaires sexy. See, I already have to take points off. He's the one who got away. She's the one who broke his heart. Outside, a howling blizzard. Inside, a crackling fire. Suddenly, being snowbound with the man she never expected to see again might not be such a bad way to spend a winter's night. Now, I have had a lot of trouble with Hazelwood before. My most recent experience reading one of her books went so poorly, I honestly kind of felt physically sick reading it. The way the sex scene was described, it felt like a horror book instead of a romance. But someday I'm going to find a book written by her that I actually like. I want to believe that Miss Hazelwood could write something I give 5 stars to. I don't know why I want to believe that. I just, for some reason, have hope for the future. I know, what a weird concept in these trying times, eh? So I saw this and I thought the cover looked cute, but I honestly got confused with the other most recent thing she put out. And I was like, wasn't I planning to read this? No, I was planning to read this, and then I accidentally read this instead. Sorry, but it is Christmas time-ish. It's the holidays, so this is more timely. Ho, 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 you're welcome. Speaking of ho, 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 let's get into it. Okay, 2 things before we get into this. I was genuinely concerned because the last Hazelwood book I read was deeply unsettling for me, especially the sex scene. And also, I couldn't stand that main character. My God, I wanted to reach through the book and just shake her. Hazelwood very often relies on the miscommunication trope that is in here. I don't think Hazelwood could write anything without the miscommunication trope at this point. I think that she is actually incapable of leaving that out of a story. You'd think that the thing she can't get away from is Raylo fanfic. That's not it. It's just the miscommunication trope. No matter if she gets away from Raylo or not, she will always be writing miscommunication. Challenge level impossible. The other thing I want to say is I do actually like the best friend's sibling trope. There is a book, it's a short book like this is by Talia Hibbert that has that trope, and I quite liked this. The sex in it was pretty steamy. Had a fun time with it. It was recommended by my friend Molly. I love you if you're watching this. So if you like best friends sibling trope, the other book that I would say you should check out is the one by Talia Hibbert. If you have recommendations for best friends sibling trope, leave them down below, especially if they're sapphic. And that's so hard to find. It's hard to find when you fall in love with a girl who is your best friend sibling. It just feels like, sure, sometimes your friend feels betrayed, but it doesn't feel like taboo. As long as you didn't grow up acting like you guys were siblings, it doesn't gross me out. There was a moment here when I thought that this book, Cruel Winter with You, was gonna do that. And you know what? I think it might have a little bit kind of crossed the line into, oh, that's a little too siblingy for me. As long as one of them isn't being older siblingy to the other, it doesn't bother me. And this main character kind of did that because she's the older one. I don't know. Let's just talk about it. Chapter 1 opens and it says, in an ideal world, Mark, with a C, Compton, would be acting like a total dick. If you had asked me who wrote this first line, I would have said, oh, it sounds like an Allie Hazelwood. I'm not asking for much. Some gloating maybe, obnoxiously raised eyebrows, a sneered well. Look who showed up unannounced on Christmas Eve. I'm not picky. Any of the above would make me feel exponentially better about the situation. She is at his house and she knows that it did not go well the last time that they spoke, or so she thinks, because of course this is the miscommunication trope. But instead, his reaction is genuine surprise. It's like he doesn't wish me ill. Like he doesn't even hold a grudge over the terrible things I said to him a few months ago over my fumbled, insufficient apology. Her apology was more like, I'm actually in love with you, and he doesn't know that she said that. So, Jamie, what the hell are you doing out in this weather? Oh man, I feel like my guy voice is off today. Sorry about that. To which I, a level-headed professional who keeps her cool under pressure, regularly saves people's lives, and sometimes even manages to make it through an entire Pilates class without bursting into tears, eloquently reply, yeah. I think the reason why sometimes I get annoyed with Allie Hazelwood is not because Allie Hazelwood is actually annoying in the way that she writes, but because this is the way I sound and I annoy myself. Anyway, she replies, yeah, which is confusing to him. And he says, yeah? As in, yeah, yes, it is me, Jamie. And he said, glad to know you're not being deceitfully impersonated by an evil doppelganger. And you know what? That's actually funny. He's like, you have to come in, Jamie. There is a storm. Actually, my dad sent me here to borrow a copper roasting pan. As soon as you give it to me, I'll just head back. In a snowstorm? You're a doctor, ma'am. Do your patients know that you're stupid? And he explains that he is a big shot in California where she also lives. Convenient that they're going to start up a relationship at the end and they don't live that far. But he's like a billionaire, which sucks because I didn't want him to be a billionaire. I want less billionaires as the main characters. I would rather have broke men. Billionaires are the worst. Eat them. We should eat him in the roasting pan for Christmas dinner. No, see, that still sounds sexual. Damn it! This holiday season, the only Compton in town is Mark, Tabitha's little brother. He flew in from California a couple of days ago to take care of Sondheim, the Compton's geriatric, high maintenance, and even higher misanthropy cat. And you know what? The cat doesn't make an appearance enough. And I feel just absolutely shortchanged by that. And she laments thinking about how rich he is in comparison to her, which is often and also an Allie Hazelwood thing. That was definitely the case for the last thing I read, where it was like, this man is so much richer than me. And I'm like, yes, he is. So some of the stuff we're doing here doesn't actually make any sense because he is in fact much richer than you. Mark the jock who charmed his way in and out of trouble. Mark of the coasting graves. Mark the college dropout got filthy rich at 23 and paid off his parents' mortgage after his company's first liquidity event. He now has a net worth of millions, billions, bajillion. Millions, billions, bajillions. Meanwhile, Tabitha and I, the dutiful, well-behaved, overachieving daughters, can barely afford appliances of the non-bedazzled variety. They run into a nosy neighbor and she accidentally almost calls her Mrs. Nosy. And the neighbor's like, what are you up to now, Jamie? In the middle of a snowstorm. Jamie's a physician finishing up her pediatrics residency, Mark says, knowing way too much. Ah, yes, you'd know, wouldn't you? Wow, my old lady voice needs some more. I forgot that you two both moved out to San Francisco. Bet you see each other all the time, don't you? Oh, Mrs. Nosy. If only you knew what happened last time we were together. We should tell you. It would make your holiday season. You know, because she's nosy. Mark, with a C, grabs her and pulls her into the house because it's a snowstorm. They don't have time to talk to Mrs. Nosy anymore. He's currently in front of me, unzipping my parka like he would for a toddler who has yet to master the concept of zippers. No. See, this is the problem I had with the last book, is where we infantilize the girl in this. I don't understand why we have to keep doing that. I will say that is what I feel like was left out of Bride by Allie Hazelwood in a way that I deeply appreciated. Please do that more. And then he touches her hair in a totally friendship way. He picks up the end of a strand and rubs it between his fingers, staring at it in an intense, lingering way that makes me remember something something he told me when we were very young. You have the prettiest hair in the world. It's dumb that you don't grow it longer. You know what? That actually does sound like a teenage boy. You nailed it. I can't believe your dad sent you here in a damn snowstorm. You don't have to say yes to every idiot thing he asks of you, especially if it's not safe. You don't even fucking like ham, Jamie. I have had a laugh. Of course he'd know. My note just says, insert jokes about liking his ham. Rachel, unless a new recipe bakes through 10 inches of snow we're getting tonight, he still shouldn't have sent you here. Honestly, 10 inches is not that much. And then she turns beet red, of course, and she's like, oh my God, that's not what I meant. Harsh, Jamie. No, really, I meant of snow. 10 inches of snow. I'm sorry. Roll the clip of the girl from TikTok who explains what 10 inches actually looks like.
I don't think you know how big 12 inches is. Do you see that? Just in scale, where is that going?
I feel like we are expecting too much too often. Anyway, we're not gonna do this today. I'm gonna end up on the naughty list for sure. No presents for me because I made one too many dick jokes this year. Her dad calls, she explains what's happening. There's a snowstorm. Her dad's kind of an idiot who is not a very good parent, but her dad does invite Mark to Christmas dinner. She's like, do you want to come to Christmas dinner? And he is not interested in Christmas dinner. And then later, he is, but you know, because they're boning by the end. So she's getting 10 inches of ham and 10 inches of, so he basically demands that she stay because, you know, snowstorm. She needed a big, strong man to tell her what to do. This woman is a doctor. He doesn't look away, continues staring and staring like he's ready to swallow me whole with his eyes. And they're interrupted because one of the heavy oak branches snapped and fell on the patio. I think outside? I don't know. Something crashed, boom, bang. And he's like, Jamie, let me make something clear. If you think I won't tie you up and lock you in my bedroom before I let you step outside in this weather, then you don't know me at all. Ooh, freaky. You're gonna end up on the naughty list, mister. Chapter 2 is talking about how she met him when she was 2.5. For some reason, Tabitha, her best friend, who never comes on page, who is 6 months older than her, was not at the hospital because she was at home with her grandparents due to what her mom referred to as a string of attention-seeking tantrums, which was like a convenient way to leave Tabitha out of this scene and just make it between Jamie and Mark with a C. But I don't really understand why. Like, that's weird. Like, okay, I had childhood friends growing up, right? I can't imagine an instance in which I would have gone to the hospital for like it doesn't seem like their parents are like tight knit. So like my friend Kelsey, who I grew up with, I would not have gone to the hospital to see her brother. Our parents were not that tight, especially if Kelsey's at home. Why the fuck would I be there? That's how I ended up meeting her new sibling before she did. And I was eager to report back that competition-wise, she had nothing to fear. The red creature squirming in my arms had a scrunched up face, wrinkly nose, pimply cheeks, folded ears, old man hair, and was covered in dried crust. It reminded me of the sugar cookies Dad would bake over the holidays, in particular the ones that didn't come out of the oven quite right. Unfortunate looking, he'd call them. And you know what? Actually, it appears that Allie Hazelwood has had interaction with a newborn, because that is a very true comparison. They do look like that when they come out. When they are fresh out the oven, well, when they're about an hour out the oven, they do look like that. They are crackly and gross. I love my kids, but it's just a fact. So little Jamie asked, what's her name? He's a boy, honey. That's why he's so ugly. Mark Evan Compton, with a C. And maybe the baby already recognized his own name, because in that precise moment, he opened his gray eyes and gripped my index finger. Hi, his unwavering stare seemed to say. A 2.5-year-old would not remember this. I'm sorry. That's just not how 2.5-year-olds work. My 8-year-old makes up memories that didn't happen. He definitely doesn't have memories from when he was 2.5 about meeting a baby and thinking, he knew his own name. He grabbed my finger. My kid was 2.5 when he met his younger brother, and he doesn't not even remember his younger brother being born. My kid was the one having tantrums at the hospital, like Tabitha. I'll be your friend. I'll get Tabitha to be your friend too, and I will love you even if you're the ugliest thing I've ever seen. In a tragic turn of events, Mark Evan Compton turned out to be the absolute worst. But he was really nice to her. He just wasn't nice to his sister. But he would always tell Jamie, when we grow up, we're gonna get married. And then there was the egg incident when she was 12 and Mark was 9. A whole 30% of their grade relied upon their final in family sciences, where they had an egg. Did you guys do the egg thing where you have to carry around an egg in a little basket and you have to take care of it and you can draw on it as long as you take care of your egg and it doesn't break? It definitely wasn't worth 30% of my grade, but we definitely did do that in school. Her best friend Tabitha and Mark got into a fight. The egg broke. And when she was asked what happened, she said Mark started it. And then Mark started teasing her from then on out instead of being like gooey-eyed over her. He was always into her from the time he was little. Now, After this, we learn more about Jamie's background with her dad, which I quite liked. She has daddy issues, but only because her dad is sort of like, wishy-washy kind of parent. He's not a mean guy. He just doesn't really spend much time with her and has like a string of girlfriends. And due to this, Jamie always wonders if she's not good enough to make the girlfriends stay. She always grew very attached to them. I thought that this was great because this really colored the rest of her life and how she interacts with people. Was it my fault? Was I too needy? Should I have made myself scarcer when they came around? Was that why my mom left me right after I was born? So this makes total sense for who she is as a person. That this was very formulative. Oh boy, I am losing brain cells right in front of you all. This was very formative for her. Over time, I formed my own coping strategies. All I could control was my behavior. I needed to be as considerate and high achieving as possible. And if I accomplished that, maybe people would contemplate sticking around. And if they didn't, I taught myself to be grateful for what they would leave behind. I'm grateful to Dad's girlfriends for teaching me how to fish, how to use tampons, how to make bread. And of course, that Mark Compton was a bit of a misunderstood genius because one of her dad's girlfriend explained, Mark's just a kid. So throughout, middle and high school, they were not friends. They were not hanging out. They didn't talk much. And he made fun of her a lot. Lots of name calling. He became very popular in high school. Her and Tabitha were decidedly not popular in high school. Somehow, even when they were seniors and he was 2 grades behind them, he was super popular as a sophomore in a way that they weren't seniors, which this is not something that would have happened in my high school, but Well, maybe if he... No, never mind. There was football players like this. Never mind. And Tabitha, her friend, is like, I just don't understand how he could possibly be popular. I watched him once kiss a slug with my own eyes. But one time, randomly, somehow, they haven't had a conversation, but she's in his home because Tabitha is her best friend. And he randomly says to her, Niall Holcomb, huh? Niall and I dated for my last 2 years of high school. He was the ideal boyfriend. Always kind, never pushy, busy enough with his own life not to demand too much from someone whose main priority would always be academics. He treating you well? Yes. Are you answering me or asking me? Yes, he is. Why? And she's basically like, so you hang out with Niall, is he a bad guy? I wish I could tell you he's a bad guy, but he's a really good guy. Then why do you wish you could? And he shrugged. And I'm like, girly pop, you are quite smart, but also quite stupid, which is just like the going trend for Allie Hazelwood characters. Oh my God, he couldn't possibly be into me, could he? And then she realizes, oh, Mark's actually hot. And I'm like, oh, Mark's actually too young for you at this point. Please back away quickly. How's the trombone going? He asked. Poorly. Why? Because I can't play it. I play the tuba. They're the same, aren't they? Nope. That can't be true. Buddy, pal, the trombone and the tuba? I don't know the difference between the Okay, no, that's fine. This guy turns out to be a genius and a billionaire, but that's fine. Let's bet on it, she says. What do you want to bet? If I'm right, I told him, you are mowing my dad's lawn this summer. But if I'm right, then you'll go on. And then it never finished the sentence because Tabitha walked in and interrupted. And I assumed that what he was going to say was, you'll go on a date with me, which no, she's 18, you're 16. No! Carlos and I have this going phrase that we say where when somebody's too young for somebody else, we shout, she's 12. And that is because when we went to go, this is so specific. I'm explaining the time that we went to go see Kick-Ass 2.
She's 12.
She's 12, he said. Yeah, so Chloe, whatever her last name is, makes out with Aaron, thank you, makes out with Aaron Taylor Johnson, which, jealous. She was too young at the time for that, all that. That was weird. It came out of nowhere. The whole theater's like, what are we watching right now? And some man in the back of the theater yelled out, she's 12! And we have never forgotten that, and we say it every time now. If somebody's too young for somebody else, we yell out, she's 12. And that is the experience I had with this book. And they interacted a couple more times throughout high school where, like, at one point Mark drove her to the hospital when her grandma's health took a turn. I don't know it's fair to say that Mark and I were friends during our teenage years, but somehow when I really needed him, he was always around. Well, then I think you guys were friends, bitch. Mark apparently went to their senior prom. Again, he's 16. He went to their senior prom with another girl because of course he's more popular than them despite being a sophomore. So after senior prom, Tabitha and Jamie were gonna go to a hotel and hang out with other seniors and, like, maybe lose their virginities or some shit. Their parents somehow, like, figured out that they were going to go somewhere and they asked Mark, like, where do all the kids normally go? And Mark was like, oh, I think the other kids are going to such and such hotel. And so Tabitha and Jamie blame him for giving away that they were going to go to a hotel. And he's like, I didn't say that you guys were going to go. I just said that that's where everybody's going. Come on, Tab. Come on. What the fuck is up with you and ruining my life? They found on their own. and you two were out after curfew and weren't picking up your phones, they were gonna call the police. So you told them about the stupid hotel? I only told them where other seniors were going. I had no idea what you two were up to. And so in revenge for this, Tabitha goes into Mark's desk, pulls out a box, throws it on the rug in front of his bed. The box open and a few dozen papers scattered around it. Pictures, lots of them. Pictures of, was that? It's pictures of her. You asshole. Did you have fun telling mom and dad my business? I hope you did, because I'm having the time of my life telling my best friend that you're fucking gone over her, especially knowing that she thinks that you're just a bratty little piece of shit. Tabitha is on a warpath. Get the fuck out of my room before I tell mom and dad that you're drunk too. Tabitha calls him an asshole. She leaves Jamie behind in her brother's room. She picks up one of the pictures and he's like, that's from the spelling bee that you won. He has pictures of her at a spelling bee. Listen, Carlos is pretty gone over me, but like, he's not like this about my kid pictures. Like, he makes fun of how my teeth looked when I was a kid. And you know what? That's love. So she asks him, why do you have all these pictures of me? Did you really just ask me why? Are you high or something? No. She's just really stupid. I'm surprised you haven't picked up on this. You don't have a picture of her being stupid in all that box? How serious is this? What do you think? But don't flatter yourself too much. I'm probably just stuck at some weird stage of my psychosexual development. I'll grow out of it. I don't think 16-year-old boys talk like this. At least, not in real life. Selfishly, I'm glad you didn't spend the night with your boyfriend, because when I saw you in that dress earlier tonight, he doesn't deserve you. No one does. What about you? I deserve you least of all, but I want you the most, and I won't give up the lengths I'm willing to go to. One day, I'll show you. Oh, that feels like a threat. And then he says, you can go now. After this, they emailed a few times when they were like getting older, when they were getting into adulthood. And he still calls her like nicknames from when they were a kid. The next time I saw Mark, I was 21. And at this point, Tabitha finally gets along with her brother and she's like, who am I if I don't hate my brother? So they're reminiscing on the past while they're all visiting together at his parents' house and talking about all the, shit he pulled on them when he was a kid. But then his parents are kind of on his case because he wants to leave school and make his startup. He's getting frustrated that his family's on his case about him wanting to just do the startup and not finish school. His mom's like, where are you going? And he's like, I'm gonna go on a cigarette break. And they're like, but you don't smoke, which is honestly funny. Let's pretend that I do and that I'm not just trying to get away from you. Honestly, again, that's quite funny. So she and him talk. Are you going to do it? Do what? Drop out. I don't know. I think you should leave school. Little Jamie Malik, prim and proper by the book, speeding toward med school since first grade, is now telling me to blow up my whole life. It's making me feel a certain kind of way. Ooh, freaky, talking about our futures. Take a leave of absence. Don't drop out. Maybe you give yourself a deadline. And I have some money put away, mostly what my grandma left me. It's just there collecting dust. Jamie, no. Yes. No, I have financial backers. Keep your money, he said, and let me take you out on a date. Oh my God, not the little brother. See, it's fine now that they're adults, like there's nothing weird here. What's this? Community service at the senior center? Old jokes. Love it now that they're adults and it's not weird anymore. You are 2 years older than me, Jamie. 21 and 19 is a big difference. Oh wait, he's 19. Nope, I'm back to being weirded out. She's 12. I thought he was, I forgot. I thought he was over 21 now. Damn it! Yeah, of course, you could be my mother. Let me take you out anyway. Mark, you live in Boston. Also, he still has a 1 at the beginning of his age. I don't know, maybe I'm just old now. I literally got married at 19. Carlos was probably 21. I think Carlos and I were, I think on a technicality, because he's a year and a half older than me, so on a technicality, he was 21 and I was 19 when we got married. It's different when it's me, okay? I admit I have double standards because I'm old now. The real senior citizen in this is me. Come on, Jamie. I know you as much as you know me. You're going to med school at Berkeley, and if I take a leave of absence, I'll most likely move to the West Coast. Bay Area. That's where everything happens, and that's where you are. I actually have a boyfriend. Nice. He can fuck off. You seem awfully certain that I'd choose you. Oh, sweetheart, I really am. I'd make sure of it. And he's like touching her inner thigh. It's a 19-year-old. I don't like it. I can't, Mark. It wouldn't be right anyway. This wasn't the plan, and I need to stick to it. The thing is, you're perfect, Jamie. Absolutely fantastic. Always have been. I've never been anything but amazed by you, and I don't think I'm there yet. I want to deserve you. I'm going to get this right. I'm going to put together a company and successfully bring the tech to market, and once I'm worthy of it, I'll ask you for another chance. Mark, no, I'm not perfect, not at all. That's right, she has sadness from parent issues. 4 years later, Mark Evan Compton was on the cover of Forbes, and 5 years later, everything fell apart. Oh no, the miscommunication happened 5 years later. So they're hanging out back in the present at his parents' house where all the Christmas decorations are. It's about to get a little ho 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 up in here, if you know what I mean. I saw you on TV last month. Was it Dateline? Oh my God, a good joke. Allison. I don't know if that's her name. Allison. Nice work. No, wait, To Catch a Predator, I think. All right, once was good. Don't beat a dead horse. It was your testimony in front of Congress, that special hearing for all that Silicon Valley stuff. I didn't take you for the type to binge watch C-SPAN. I live for gavel-to-gavel coverage of the U.S. Congress. Okay, actually, now it's funny again. Was it fun giving the testimony? Explaining why crypto is bad to a nonagenarian senator who has no working knowledge of the internet does have its moments. All right, so I guess I'm in an alternate universe where Allie Hazelwood has been consistently funny for 30 seconds. So talking about her job, it's hard sometimes. I thought it'd get easier, but the further I get in my residency, the hours are long and my patients are really young, and sometimes they're not much I can do for them. And then I go home and I'm exhausted. I don't want to be alone with my spiraling brain, so I go to the gym, and by the time I get back, I end up being too tired to sleep. I cannot relate. Carlos and I have been going to the gym recently, and I am so exhausted, I can't do anything when we get home. I literally have to go straight to bed. Meanwhile, he's like pumped and wired, and I'm like, what is that like? She says that she's just sort of lonely, and he forces her to meet his eyes with a finger under her chin. I know we've been over this stuff, but even if you don't want anything to do with me in that way, I'm still your friend, Jamie. You can call me. This doesn't make sense for the miscommunication thing earlier, because she should just be like, what do you mean? I thought that you didn't answer my phone call. Like, this is the part where we could have communicated, but instead we save it for later, which, Allison, please stop doing that. And then the lights cut out because there's a storm. Don't forget, cruel winter with you. The weather outside is frightful, but the fire in Mark's heart is delightful. At least we have the fire for warmth and some light. It's a literal quote from the book. The fire inside is in fact delightful. So they decide to play a game to pass the time, or rather he says we should play a game to pass the time, and she's like, a game? Like what? I'm sure we'll find something to take your mind off things. There is something a little suggestive about the way he said something, an open-ended hint, just a touch filthy. This is the point where you say, wait, is Mark still into me then? I should just ask. But we don't do that because this is an Allie Hazelwood book. We have Uno somewhere in the attic. Or what about Truth or Drink? Oh my God, I haven't thought about that game in years, since high school. That's okay, I'm sure we can scrounge up the rules. So she thinks about the rules, which are you either tell the truth or drink. It's pretty simple. It was the shit when we were teenagers, mostly at the kind of parties where Mark thrived and I was never invited. You know, I don't think I've ever played it. Then why would you have thought about it at all if you were never playing it? How would you even know it was happening? You were way too pure for that in high school. You were shy and reserved and afraid that your dad would get mad at you and leave you if you screwed up. Oh my God, don't see to my inner person, Mark with a C. Shut up. Her first question is why he didn't go on the vacation with his parents, and he's like, shareholder meeting. My first question is, when's the last time you had sex with someone? This is the part where she should be like, oh, he's definitely still into me, actually. No questions asked. The confusion is a moot point. I just need to ask, did you not get my voicemail? Because I feel like you're still into me and now I'm confused. I should have known that you'd start with a very invasive question. Mark knows that Shane and I broke up last year when he proposed and I couldn't bring myself to say yes to him. She decides to take a shot instead of answering. I should ask when the last time you had sex was too. Is that your question? No. Why don't you want to spend Christmas with us? Because I wasn't sure I wanted to spend time with you over the holidays. His question is, are you happy, Jamie? What kind of question is that? Your drink is right there if there's something you don't want to admit to. And so she drinks instead of just answering a very simple question. Are you happy, Mark? No, I'm not. My turn. What would make you happy? This is so suggestive. Bitch, he's so into you. How can you possibly... I just don't understand how every Allie Hazelwood character is smart but dumb. I don't get it. He's practically wearing a sign that says, I'm into you. It's just the miscommunication is so boring. Do a different thing. Is there anything I could do right now that would make you happy? And so she drinks. And then her question is, are you angry at me? This is like that TikTok where it says, stop scrolling, stop scrolling. I have an important question. Are you mad at me? Are you angry at me for what I said to you the last time we saw each other? Yes, Jamie, I'm fucking furious with you. And then the next chapter goes into, it happened 4 months ago. They saw each other for her birthday. He explains that he follows her on Instagram. He like knows, you know, what she's doing, what she's up to. He's worried about the fact that her dad doesn't exactly treat her right. He's kind of, you know, I don't know, just not a very involved parent, just sort of self-absorbed. Did your father remember your birthday? Jamie, you should tell him when he fucks up, otherwise he'll never learn. Actually, some dads don't care. Mine's probably watching this right now, seething, because I didn't end up a right-winger. It's okay, he has a new girlfriend, so he's just really busy. You deserve better. A while ago, 5 years, give or take, I gave myself a benchmark for success. In the past few years, I've worked much harder than I thought myself capable of, and all along, I was thinking about you. And she's like, oh my gosh, he really meant it when he said when he was 19 years old, once he's, you know, worthy of it, he'll ask me again. If you're just looking to get laid. He bent toward me, instantly shut me up, and they're making out. I felt lightheaded, vibrating, ready to burst. When a deep guttural moan rose from the back of his throat, I thought, I'm ruined. At least I don't have to yell she's 12 anymore. That's nice. That's a nice change of pace. Jamie, I fucking adore you. I was in love with you when I was 15, and if I'm honest, not much has changed. Just come home with me. Let me take care of you. Let me make you happy. I can tell that you're lonely, and honestly, so am I. I'll never not be until we're together. Aw, okay. See, he's just nice. See, best friend sibling is always, as long as they're legal, a cute idea. Say yes, just do it. End the book early. We don't need the miscommunication to make this last longer for no reason. No, Mark, are you crazy? Come on, Jamie, this can't be a surprise. I've been in love with you since forever. It's puppy love. You had a crush on me when we were teenagers. That was ages ago. It's been years. There hasn't been a single person I've liked as much as I like you. That's just because I'm the one who got away, Mark. At this point, you don't even know how much of a mess I am. I cry all the time. I cried last night for hours. I'm a disaster. A doctor who cries when her patients are sick. Hey. Listen, some of us accept that we cry all the time and that's just how we're gonna live our lives, and we go on to lead fine relationships nonetheless. Well, this changes things. I did not know that you were capable of basic empathy for your fellow humans. I'm serious. I thought you were over this for the last few years. The last few years, I forced myself to be patient. I knew I'd never be able to keep my promise if you and I ended up alone. I avoided it altogether. But this is it. I've done something I can be proud of. I've proven to myself I can be reliable and get shit done. Now I want to prove it to you too. I can provide for you. I can give you what you need. I'm not over you. I never will be. You clearly have an idealized concept of me. Jamie, if anyone is aware of your flaws, it's me. You care way too much about pleasing the people around you, especially your dad, who absolutely takes advantage of it. Hey, why don't you keep that observation to yourself, sir? I don't need to be told that explicit thing that actually relates to my real life before I cut my dad off. I don't know why you're peering into my real life Allie Hazelwood, but I don't appreciate it. Mark, I'm basically your older sister. Ew, why did we say that? Why did we say that? That was never a thing that we needed to say. There is absolutely nothing brotherly about the way I feel about you right now or have felt in your presence ever. I wanted to marry you when I was 6, and I wanted to do very, very rude things to you at 18. Oh, I don't want to hear about teenagers doing it. I want to introduce you to every single person I've ever met as my wife. I want to travel back to Illinois with you for the holidays. Oh my God, he's willing to travel to Illinois with you? Lock him down, sister. I want to give you the world, Jamie. No, Mark, I'm a mess. I'm too busy for a relationship. Are you too busy? Or are you just fucking terrified? Rude. It's like you once told me you're just stuck at some weird stage of development. Oh, come on. I was 16 and mad at my sister for spilling my secret. Mark, you're immature as childish, and I'm not really attracted to you. I'm sorry, but to me, you'll always be the annoying little boy I had to tolerate because of my best friend. Romantically, I don't want anything to do with you. Not now and not ever. Back in the present, he says, I'm fucking furious with you. I'm just not furious for the reasons you think. I was a bitch to you, Mark. The things I said were unnecessarily cruel. That has to be the reason. Why are you so sure that it won't work out between us? Is that your next question? Sure. I'll need a refill then. Too bad. You're done for the night. Paternalism is not cute. Fuck this stupid game. Just tell me why. Just answer the question, Jamie. You have no idea how messy the inside of my head really is. In fact, I'm probably like my dad. I'm impossible to be with. Sooner or later, everyone I care about leaves. And then she explains, like, you were dating somebody literally a week after we had that fight. And he's like, she's not you, Jamie, which, bleh. I told her that it wouldn't be fair because any relationship between the two of us would be dead on arrival. I told her there was somebody else. I told her so much about you. She could probably pick you out in a lineup. And I said that you were smart and brave, and once you realized that you were lying to yourself, you were going to come back to me. You're too much of a coward to admit it to yourself. I did admit it. You are the one who never replied. This all happened because he didn't look at his own voicemail. That's so stupid. I called you, Mark. I apologized the day after I left a voicemail. You left a voicemail on your phone. Who the fuck leaves voicemails? Plenty of people. Doctor's offices. Me. I leave we are adults. We all have to leave voicemails. We have to listen to voicemails. We definitely listen to our voicemails. My God, I'm so confused. Like, what kind of an adult does not have voicemail set up? Here's what we do. We leave each other voicemails, and then if we can, we email or text and reply. We don't actually talk to each other on the phone, but we damn well listen to our voicemails. I haven't listened to my messages in decades. What do you mean? But apparently, like, he has a different number that he listens to voicemails on. I don't know. I don't understand. So he decides to listen to it now because he still has that phone. He just, I guess, never answers the voicemails or listens to them. I don't fucking know. Mark, about yesterday, I fucked fucked up. I don't think you're immature. And it's not true that I'll never be interested in you. I will be. I mean, I am. It's just that is an excuse if I tell you I had a shitty week at work. It made me feel really bad about myself. And then you said all those nice things about me, and I was sure that I'd disappoint you, and I panicked. And you're right. I'm scared constantly to end up like my dad, that the more people know me, the more they'll want to leave. If we start something and it ends up not working out, it will destroy me. But I'm starting to realize that pretending that I don't have feelings for you will also destroy me. Mark's phone is now hitting the floor, and he's pressing me against the wall, hands around my face, tongue in my mouth, body covering mine, and that's when the lights come back on. Not the lights. Don't worry, the weather outside is still frightful. Her dad calls, and he's like concerned about the pan. And Mark says, stop playing fast and loose with my girlfriend's safety. Until an hour ago, I thought he was over me, and now he's calling me his girlfriend. Wow, this sure did escalate quickly. It even says it. This relationship has escalated very quickly. Okay, glad we're on the same page, literally and figuratively. So he takes her upstairs to his childhood bedroom. He's a large man, and it's a tight fit, one that requires me lying half on top of him, but I don't mind. She asks, is the box of pictures of me still in your desk? And he says, no, the box has moved with me everywhere I went. Oh, I guess you like them creepy. Good for you. And he says, but the background of my phone is you. It's a picture I took of you in your prom dress. So they're about to copulate. I arch, about to fully melt into the pleasure of his touch, but an old calculus textbook catches the corner of my eye and, is this weird? I ask him. Jamie, believe me, nothing in my life has ever felt less weird than staring at your breasts. Thank you. It's very clinical of you. No, I mean the bed, doing this in your own robe. Are we defiling your wholesome childhood memories or something? You're right. Let's move it to Tabitha's room. Oh, you're right. That's crazy. My parents' bed is larger. I gasp. Jamie, pretty unspeakable things have happened in here, and pretty much all of them had something to do with you. The defiling you mentioned has long taken place. Ew! We didn't need to say that out loud. So as far as the sex scene here, it's pretty chaste because this is a quick book, but it says, he makes me so many times I lose count, and when I tell him I can't take any more, he gives me a small break, only long enough for a hushed conversation about birth control and protection, in which we both admit how very little sex we've been interested in having for the last few months, or maybe years. I was getting so close to having the company right where I wanted it to be able to come to you, and God, Jamie, I couldn't think of anything but you. I'm glad we're doing business talk during this. Even though I'm very and he's very hard, it just doesn't seem to work. Come on, Jamie, relax, let it happen. Didn't you say that 10 inches isn't that much?
Do you see that? Just in scale, where is that going?
Oh my God. My entire body glows with love for him, and miraculously, we are able to fit. Great! His exact words are, fuck. Oh, Jamie, I knew that you'd, but I feel like I read that incorrectly, but you know what, it's funnier if I just leave it. My constant worry, the fear of being abandoned, the anxiety of not being enough, I'm just so full of Mark, there's no room for any of that inside of me. Literally and figuratively. A large hand wraps around my knee, bringing it up to widen me, and then he rocks so deep, I know I can take everything he wants to give me and more. Great! We together, and it's like falling from the tallest building into the deepest sea. I can't say that an orgasm has ever felt like that for me personally. I feel like that is actually like a very specific fear that I have, and not at all what an orgasm feels like, but it's fine. To each their own. Moments later, when the sweat is cooling and our bodies stick together in too many places to count, when we're safe under the comforter and about to fall asleep, when my nose nuzzles against the skin, he speaks. I've already told you I love you back on your birthday, and I think it was too much too soon. I know you. I know why you're scared. I won't say it again. I can wait and be patient. But make no mistake, Jamie. Next year, when we fly home for the holidays, we're gonna do it together. We'll show up at your dad's at the same time. We'll sleep in the same room, either here or in yours. Everyone is gonna know that you're mine and I'm yours, and before we fall asleep, you'll let me say it. And next year, before we fall asleep, I'm going to say it back. Merry Christmas, I whisper. Mark says nothing back, but I feel the smile against my cheek. The end. All things considered, that's all right. That's fine. Had me in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. I was concerned that it would get a little creepy because often Ali Hazelwood books, I find, are a little creepy. But this one could have been much worse. And it was a little fun holiday romp. And I honestly quite liked the stuff that we did with her dad and how that had made her like distance herself from people and really fear being abandoned. That made total sense to me. So all in all, not bad. This was a cute Christmas short story. Certainly not the best short story I've read this year, but I mean, it's really hard to top Tamps and Mirrors. Good God. But if you're looking for something a little cute to read around Christmas, I gave this a 3. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Leave your favorite Christmas book down below, or leave your favorite best friend's sibling romance book down below. Check out that Talia Hibbert one. I can't remember the name of it, but I put it on the screen, so we're good. Okay, happy holidays if you're celebrating holidays this time of the year, and if you're not, then happy week to you. Okay. Ho, ho, ho. Have a good one. Comments and questions down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Before I go, I have to say thank you for being a friend to my Therapy Bills patrons. And those are Alexander, Ashley H., Astra, Brittany Bobitney, Call Me Kodiak, Cami, Choco's traumatized by that dang book, Chris the Horror Therapist, DJ Rocktopus, EK Casey, Ellie, Emerald Dodge, Aaron with 2 E's, Eric, Hey Mom, I'm Famous, Jess, John E., Kay, Kaleno K, Casey McKenzie, Kate W, Quinn, Lady Kittybug, Lemon Jelly, Lex, Lily B, Max B, Mixer Boneless, Alice, Panoramic Demon, Peggy Lou, Rain, Reese, Ree, SJ, Samar, Scarlet, Shiny, SMK, Spoopy, Steph, T Delegati, 2 Orbit, Umami Mommy, Urchin Audrey, White Raven 13, Zorvictia, Chai Guy. Thank you all so much for being here and for being a friend. And I have to say thank you for being a friend to my potato starch Marxist patrons. Wow, that's a mouthful. And those are AB Daniels Anaki, Alejandra, Ali Oxenfree, Alistair, Althea, Amanda D, Andy, Angelica, Armadildo. That's a good one. Artie the Ninth, Ava, Ballads and Bookends, Beck, Blake Lemon Pants, Blythe Lavender, Bookish Brainrot, Bookish by Jenna, Bree Caitlin, Kate B, Caitlin P, Cardinal Ginger, Carlin, Carly, Casper, Kate, Catherine, Kathy, Claire Online, Colleen, Corwin, Cosmic, Darius, Danielle M, Darren, Desiree Michelle, Dilf Enthusiast, Dorian, Dorothea, Drive-By Thinker, Ebby, Emily A, Emma, Other Emma, Ezra Moon, Fiona McDonald, Forever a Boat, Francis Gadarn, Galaxy Bot, Halia Artisan, Hannah Bunny, Hannah C, Harpy Kuro, JM Tennant, Jays on Olympus, Jelly V, Jen Michelle, Genderqueer, Jenny G, Jessis Sue, Jill, Jojo Bookish, Juicy Wizard, Kat, Catherine, Katie L, Katrina, Kaylee, Kayala, Kendra, KMTB, Laughing Cat Dog, Lauren G, Lazarus Ray, Library of Scars, Lindsay M, Lisa B, Lisa L, LP, Luciri, Lustful Octopus, Martin, Maddie, Madison, Man-Eating Plant, Marcella, Marquita, Megan, Malara, May, Mima Who, Molly, Never, Nicole G, Nicole R, Nyan Binary, Paige P, Paul, Penelope, Penny Chilling, Foxglove, Plague Carrier, Pandemonium, Queen Cereal, Rachel B, Reba, Rebecca, Rebecca R, Ronnie, Rosie Thorns, Rowan, Secoria, Saintbringer, Saki Alume, Sarah H, Sarah the Bear, Shamed, Shannon, Sean, Sophie, Talia, That Nerdy Mystic, Tiana, Too Thick to Work Today, Trash Can Teddy, Triple M, Tito Phoenix, Unicorn Jenny, Wobbs. If you don't tell me how to say that, I'm gonna cry. And Writer A, thank you all so much for being here and for being a friend.